You have a hairball? You got
No, but I
Oh.
cleaned up hairball puke this morning.
Oh, like is it yellow, like with the bile and stuff?
And it's like big chunks of looks like cat poop, but it's hairballs.
Well, it's a good thing that Jess constantly changes the litter box, so at least you're just cleaning up the puke and that's it.
Yeah, she does clean up her fair share of puke, but it was on the stairs to get down to the show today.
Oh. Wait, which one? The first set of stairs or the second set of stairs?
It was on 2 steps.
Whoa, wow. So it was a traveling puke.
Yeah, well, one was from yesterday, actually, that I just didn't clean up. I kept walking around it all day. I was like, I'm going to wait for that one to dry, so this is a little easier.
Yeah, I've never resonated with something more because we currently have 3 dogs here because I'm watching my dad's dog. And I literally, like yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I need to clean this house. And I was like, it's all right. We're not hosting anybody. And then we're having friends over later tonight. And I was like, well, now I know what I'm doing all day. And it's just cleaning.
Oh God, I went live.
Welcome to adulthood. Oh, baby. Ooh. Damn it.
Darn.
Yeah, it was just...
Darn.
On the third time's a charm. Got it. We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna.
NPR.
And this is GPS. A moment of silence, please. Adam is very upset that Aaron Rodgers will not be going to the Minnesota Vikings. And I know how upset Adam is, probably the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan I've ever met. And it's a tough time for a lot of Vikings fans. I know a lot of Vikings fans are really mourning and are really upset. I told you he wasn't going there. Let's go. Vikings fans, you're free. And you know what? There was a part of me. I was just like, just go. Just go there for the memes. Just go there and internally destroy the Minnesota Vikings. But nope, we can't have that. Unfortunately, as honestly, what's kind of predictable. Tom Pelissero has kind of been all over this.
Yeah.
Saying that the Vikings have not had interest, and anything in terms of interest of Aaron Rodgers seemed to be coming and stemming from Aaron Rodgers. I know Rossini was talking about how this is a possibility and was kind of stoking some fires, but this isn't the most surprising thing because they got rid of Sam Darnold. They're rocking with their basically rookie quarterback at this point. And I think it's the best move for the Minnesota Vikings because 1, who the hell knows what you're getting out of Aaron Rodgers? And 2, if JJ's that guy, oh boy, this is going to look like the most genius move ever because you're building a team around him,
Yeah, well, this whole situation is interesting, I guess. When you're talking about the way that this information is being fed to us,
yeah.
I have no idea why on earth the Vikings would even consider Aaron Rodgers for this season, but he and Kevin O'Connell have a history together, apparently. But this is what you try to break down, right? So you see Tom Pelissero today basically puts the news out that the Vikings not interested in Rodgers. They are moving on with JJ McCarthy as they're like they should. You drafted the guy.
This is the right decision.
You drafted him. Play the fucking quarterback. It's pretty simple. God bless you. And then, so Pelissero has it, and then Schefter kind of confirms what Pelissero says. But when you talk about Rossini keeping the story alive, you've got there's no in or out on Aaron Rodgers from Minnesota. They're simply not making a decision at this time. Well, apparently Rodgers not making a decision at this time either. So now we wait and see what Rodgers wants to do. But Rossini is the only one saying this. The rest of the reports are that Vikings moving on. Steelers still in the mix, obviously. They have also said they're okay starting Mason Rudolph as their quarterback this year.
Yep.
But I think their preference is Aaron Rodgers.
And the Giants have visits, right? So they had Russell Wilson come and visit, right? They were talking Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Remember what I said on Friday?
Wilson just sitting there like, guys, hello. I can be about on par with Rodgers.
Yep.
Guys.
Yep. David, what a finish! For the kitty. I'm so glad that the drawings came in. Yes, the last of the drawings should come in today and tomorrow for anybody. I emailed everybody when they got sent out and their estimated time of arrival. I appreciate you. If we have Tom attempt to draw Perna next blindfolded, I did. If you recall, I had larger muscles. This was true. And I think that is depicting real life very accurately.
Look at this, guys. My likes are private. Only I can see them, and I'm sitting here sharing my likes with everybody.
Wow.
This should be behind
too.
a paywall. This should be behind a paywall.
That's true. All I know, I got you.
Johnny John.
Woo! And the last time I saw her, she was on a bicycle.
Oh.
You're up so fast.
These are my pro Bush tweets last night.
The president or the band?
The band.
Oh, okay.
Working on Shadir Sanders. Okay, there. My likes.
This is the hottest.
Consider yourself lucky.
Wow. Appreciate the heck out of you, David. Yeah,
what this comes down to, it's like,
ooh, drunk baby.
You got Pelissero, you got Schefter, you got Rappaport saying it's done. Rossini, I think, is a good reporter, but there are misses in that department with some of the things being reported on her end from time to time.
It also probably depends on where the sources are, right? Because if you're talking to Aaron Rodgers or his agent, right? I'm sure they're just like, no, they didn't say no. It wasn't a definitive no. Yeah. It was just, not right this second.
Yes,
I wasn't rejected though. No. I definitely not.
Also, if Mason Rudolph is the Steelers quarterback this season, I think if they don't get Rodgers, they're going to draft somebody. But
yeah.
How does DK Metcalf feel about that?
I mean, he's $150 million.
You traded for me for Mason fucking Rudolph to be my quarterback? Cool. Thanks, Pittsburgh. Thank you very much. I love it.
I mean, I've been saying since the beginning, I think if he ends up with anybody, I think it's Pittsburgh, right? That just seems the most sense. It doesn't sound like they're bringing back Russell Wilson, talking about the Steelers. It seems like, okay, we did this thing. We don't have to do this thing again. They brought in Mason Rudolph, who again knows the system at least, and familiar, got to work with Arthur Smith. But yeah, if I'm the Steelers, I might just rock out too, because it doesn't make sense. It was not to say that they are the same in any way, shape, or form. It's the DeAndre Hopkins to the Titans from a couple years ago, right? Of okay, you're getting a player that's probably going to elevate the team a little bit, hopefully, but you're not winning a Super Bowl. So for the Steelers and the Giants, I don't think you're winning a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and you're not going to sign him for more than 2 years. So at this point, it's just, unless you're bringing him in for a 1-year cheap-ass deal where whoever you wind up drafting is going to learn behind him, that's where I can see some value. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to do that. So the Vikings made the most sense in terms of, I want to compete and go for a Super Bowl this year, because they were the team that was the most ready out of the three to go and do that with their supporting cast, etc. But now that the Vikings are out, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to bring in Aaron Rodgers, especially I'm going to assume Aaron Rodgers is looking for.
Yeah. I mean, Rodgers wanting to play for the Vikings makes a ton of sense.
All the sense of the world. Yeah.
They have the best offense for him to work with. They have Justin Jefferson. You got TJ Hawkinson. You got Jalen Naylor, hardly newer. You got Jordan Addison. His buddy Aaron Jones is there. Like, of course he would want to go there.
Yeah.
But again, why would the Vikings delay JJ McCarthy's development by a full year on a 1-year rental from a guy we don't even know if he's actually going to add more to the team than JJ McCarthy?
Well, it's also because the only reason you bring him in is JJ's not ready, right? And I mean that in a couple different ways.
But how do they know? I guess medically.
That's
right?
what I mean. That's what I mean. It's just like medically, like, oh, okay, he's not looking so good, right? It's like a Kirk Cousins situation where like, oh, maybe he's not ready to go. But yeah, I just don't get it. And yeah, Brandon Graham officially retiring. I mean, dude.
Well, yeah. What's funny is like we knew he was retiring. That was officially news like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I always laugh. I see breaking.
No.
Brandon Graham retiring.
Yeah, no.
We know. He had his press conference. And
great player.
For the Eagles, it's always tough when you move on from a guy who's been with you that long for Eagles fans.
Yep.
But now we're just recycling shit we already knew.
Well, remember again Friday. It seems like you
and Jordan Mason. That's right. Damn it. Sorry, I was trying to think of the other piece on the Vikings roster.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry. Okay.
You got this big wave of like all these moves are happening, like the Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, right? All these signings are happening, and this is really kind of just trickled since then. Hey, Packers signing McCall Hardman. We'll talk about that in a hot minute. But ultimately, there's been such a lack of news over these past few days where you're kind of just the Aaron Rodgers, which is why I brought it up on Friday. Yeah. Like, is this just a manufactured, like, hey, are we just getting something to talk about? And then in terms of Trey Hendrickson, the last we heard about that is that he's talking to the Bengals. So I feel like those are really the two, and Micah Parsons. I feel like maybe those are like the three big pieces, right, that we're kind of still waiting on. This is going to, I don't think this sounds bad. I'm significantly less interested in Aaron Rodgers now because the only reason I'm going to be interested if he goes to the Steelers just so Tree can, crash out. Like that's looking forward to his Tree's content. He will have a plethora to work with, but he's not. When he went to the Jets, the assumption was, oh man, they have this defense that they're going to be ready to go. There's no team that he could go to out of those two that is going to make a significant difference where I'm like, oh man, like they're going to win a Super Bowl now. So yeah. And then Hendrickson, if he winds up re-signing with the Bengals, that's dope for the Bengals. I think that'd be a good move for them to do. But yeah, I don't think Parsons is going anywhere. So it seems like, and I'm curious on what your take is, do you think like we're going to get any more actual surprises when it comes to free agency, or we kind of like tap that well dry a little bit?
No, it's done. Well is dry. Move on. Got to start your next dig. Got to start drilling down because there ain't shit. There ain't shit happening.
Expensive to find new well supply. True.
And with Pittsburgh and New York, those are the only two places where Rodgers can go where I feel like he's going to elevate the offense by being their quarterback. You can argue that for Minnesota, but I think like if the Vikings look at this last football season and you saw what Jaden Daniels did in Washington, well, you saw what Bo Nix did for the Broncos, and you're inserting JJ McCarthy into a roster that is probably more well-rounded than those two rosters were at the beginning of last season for Denver and Washington. You feel good. There's this whole thing too. Like I didn't even realize this was a storyline, but I saw like multiple people talk about it today with JJ McCarthy, and they're like, he's putting the weight back on. Like what?
Yeah, he's bulked up.
Like, well, he lost weight because he had, the surgery last year, which happens when you can't,
because he was shown on the sideline in that game where he was like super skinny, and people were like, "Is that JJ?
Oh God, is he skinny?"
Yeah,
who cares? They're athletes. They got fucking trainers. They got nutrition specialists. He'll put the proper weight back on by the time it's, and then he had to get a cleanup surgery.
Yeah,
your muscles atrophy if you can't use them. He'll get back into it.
It just, again, I think for the Vikings, and not to give them compliments, but this just makes the most amount of sense. Because even if JJ McCarthy sucks, right? Like, let's just say he's awful. I think you're still assembling a squad that you're going to be competitive. So, you have options after that. Carlos, I mean, they got Zach Ballin back and they extended Saquon Barkley. I think those are the two most important pieces. You have to say goodbye to guys like Williams and Sweat, but you have depth on that D line. I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah.
And yeah, who knows what the Cowboys and the Giants are doing this season? It's going to really be about the Commanders as your main competition within the division. So I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah, the only free agent that's left that's interesting to me is J.K. Dobbins for Denver. Like, the Broncos are probably going to draft a running back. Are we going to draft a running back at 20? You're going to wait? J.K. not going back to the Chargers. They were better when he was on the field last year. There's always going to be health concerns with J.K., but in terms of like when you're asking, like, are there any things that might surprise you? Like if Denver brought him in, I would like that.
That'd be fun.
That's like on my radar as a Broncos fan, but I don't even know which free agents are available still.
Shout out to Funkhauser, made that awesome video. Go check out his channel of Perna and I racing. It was it's pretty great. The cars racing. Remember back in the day we were asked about, and you took the Volkswagen van to race.
Oh, is that up?
Yeah, it came out. It's fantastic.
Where is it?
It's really good. Yeah, check out Funkhauser's channel. It reminded me of like MXC back in the day. It was very well done. So huge shout out to Funkhauser. It was awesome. Well, speaking of and being completely selfish, the Green Bay Packers are going to the Super Bowl. That's right, because we have signed McCall Hardman to a 1-year deal. Read it and weep, rest of the league.
You guys did it.
You poor sons of guns. Did we go get a pass rusher that we desperately needed? No, we did not. Instead, we got a kick returner because Nixon doesn't want to return kicks anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's so it's at the end of this past season because he's been playing corner as well. And he's like, I want to be a CB1. I don't want to be returning kicks anymore.
Interesting.
Which is why we originally brought him on the team. And Matt LaFleur responded, was like, that's nice. I'm sure he does feel that way. But going and getting McCall Hardman obviously isn't going to radically change the Packers. But I think it gives another option of somebody to return and, could be somewhat dynamic in the return game. Again,
might change them for the worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference. I think it's just going to be some special teams help. The Packers still have to address, areas of need like corner. We'll see what happens with Jair Alexander. We still need to. Oh, that's another free agent move. Let's see what the hell happens with Jair Alexander, even though he's not a free agent yet. And then, of course, we need a pass rusher, corner, and then probably another wide receiver. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's last night I saw it and I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is like, I'm not upset about it. It's a cheap deal. It's super low risk and it's another guy to return the ball. But yeah, the Packers, I still think they're going to be super competitive, but I need to see what they do in the draft to see where their ceiling is going to be. So
I'm trying to bring up a goddamn list.
The free agent list?
Yeah, where they just show me the ones that are still available. God damn it.
Oh, by the way, did you see the mock-ups for the new Cleveland Browns stadium? Those were released yesterday. I think they released pictures beforehand, but they did like a whole video thing so that their team can disappoint their fans in a new stadium. Can you imagine your taxes going up and it's for the Cleveland Browns? Oof, that's a tough pill to swallow, It's like, man, I'm struggling. Things are really expensive out there. And it's just, my taxes are going up. Why? Because the Cleveland Browns got to crap the bed in a new stadium.
Are we still paying Deshaun Watson? We are?
Oh, wow.
Sweet. I want to talk about the Browns in a minute, too. Yeah. But, all right, so these are like the available free agents right now still. This is by position. Okay, they got Amari, Asante. Look, they got Aaron Rodgers ranked at 25.
Yeah, there he is.
I like Amari Cooper ranked at 11. He can make a bigger impact for our team than Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is NFL.com. That's fucking funny.
Can you scroll back up for a hot second?
What's that?
Sorry. Can you scroll back up for a second? I'm surprised that no one's taken a shot on a cheaper deal for Asante Samuel Jr. He's 25 years old, and yes, there are knocks on his game, but I feel like even for the Packers, I wouldn't be the most upset if it's a super cheap, like 1-year deal. You bring him in as a prove it year, and see if he can live up to that contract. Because, and again, it's just the potential, right? So
the knock on him's what? Tackling? Is that his biggest knock? Is tackling?
Yeah, it's that his coverage is not the best, but I think again, you take that risk on a 25-year-old and you go, okay, like let's see if he can fit within this. Again, if the price is right. So I think that he is an interesting free agent. You talked about the Broncos, like for the Packers who need a CB, like this isn't going to solve all your problems, but maybe it's also they have no interest in him. So that's always the great thing every single year where you go, oh, okay, my expectations for the Packers don't necessarily line up with what the Packers want to do.
These are probably guys too. We're in the territory where these guys are going to get signed after the draft, most likely. Maybe there's some fear of missing out, and a team, goes out and signs like Asante Samuel. But if you're a team who thinks you can get a corner in this draft and then you don't, then you revert and go, okay, maybe we'll get Asante. We don't know about Rodgers. You got Cam Robinson, tackle. Diggs is interesting. I'd take a shot on him if I needed a receiver as a depth piece. You're just waiting on his injury.
Your injury. Yeah.
Calais Campbell still a free agent?
Jenkins was visiting the Seahawks, so we'll see if that winds up figuring itself out.
That's fucked up. You're putting Russell Wilson below Jameis Winston? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
They saw that Broncos game on primetime.
Wow.
Like Jameis can still light it up.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. I've got my problems with Russell Wilson as a quarterback, but I would take him 1,000,000 times over Jameis Winston. The turnover machine. Jameis Winston is a terrible NFL quarterback. People just like him because he's fun. He's funny, and he fucking throws the ball everywhere.
I feel like as a backup, Jameis is fine. Right?
No.
Because like for a QB2.
No, he's not. You put him in, you're going to lose a game probably.
I understand. I'm saying you don't want him as the starter, but like I feel like he could be a QB2. Like, Tyler Lockett, he's gotten worse like the past few years. So he's a maybe depth piece if anybody signs him for like a 1 to 2 year deal and it's going to be super cheap. Raiders could be on there. Patriots, maybe they bring him in, but I don't think there's going to be a super high market for him.
That's also what we forget about JK. He's only 26.
Dude,
I
feel
also had 26 surgeries.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it feels just like a lifetime of unfortunate, like just injuries for JK.
He's 26, but he has the legs of a 37-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be super interested in the Broncos bringing in JK. That would be fun. Very fun.
I like it. Got your man Za. Simmons. Tough to see Simmons hanging out there. I know it didn't work out in Atlanta.
The Bears.
We love Simmons.
Collusion. Hold on, scroll back up for a second, Perna. Real quick. So Darius Smith as a free agent. Again, shocked that he didn't work out with Detroit. They didn't want to give him a big time deal. It's crazy. Sorry. I'm shocked, personally. There you go, Carlos. There you go. Stephon Gilmore. You know what? A huge shout out to Stephon Gilmore because when he was with
Carolina.
Yeah, I thought he was done. I was like, oh, because then he went to Indianapolis, right? And then he went to Dallas. Because like I thought he was done.
Good in Dallas.
Because dude, like Gilmore, he just had a ton of injuries, and like to get him ready, like it was not fun. But yeah, he's turned it back around. And his 34-year-old, again, I don't know if he's going to get a spot this year, but maybe like a 1-year deal, another one that's just gonna be super cheap and it's gonna be a bargain deal.
What do you think's tougher in the NFL, being a 34-year-old corner or a 34-year-old running back?
I feel like running back. Well, I feel like running back just because the punishment your body's taking, right? Because you have like, how old is Frank Gore? 56?
200.
Yeah,
he
like
is actually the first double centurion.
Because like every time you are getting hit every play. In terms of the
you're getting hit.
The skill level, though,
you gotta be so fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Right?
to keep up with these 23-year-old wide receivers who, you're 34. It's I'm 34 and I feel like I'm gonna die. So yeah, I can't imagine, doing that. It's gonna be tough. I don't think. Ooh, real quick. Do you think Rodgers just straight up retires?
I mean, I think there's a chance.
90% a few years ago. 90%. Hey, any minute now. Any minute, those Patriots are gonna go and make that splash. Any minute.
Are there? What's the first? Oh, there's Keenan Allen.
Bring back
Patriots
Russell
could have
Douglas.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, I want to go back
Elijah
to
Moore. You could have, dude. Elijah Moore's only 25.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hold on, this sounds like a personal thing. I still haven't give up on Moore. I still believe in you, Elijah. But that sounds personal. Yeah, John. Yeah, sorry. This wouldn't be good. Keenan Allen, I want him to go back to the Chargers so bad with
Mike
White. Just go back, Mike Williams. Excuse me. Just go back and say yes. I was just faking it the entire time I was on Chicago. I was not happy. I could still play. I'm well rested now. He's a step slow. He's like, I never ran full speed. Never in Chicago. I knew you still wanted me.
Yeah.
There you go, Patriots. Tyler Lockett.
Remember when Johnny thought I was lying when I said Keenan Allen never impressed me when the Broncos played him?
Yeah, I am always going to have a part of my heart and soul for Keenan Allen. And it's only going to be for selfish reasons, because not only is he he's a good wide receiver, but man, that man was so great in fantasy. He was just all reliable in PPR leagues.
No, I mean, he was good. I'm just saying when he played against Denver, they always seem to have an answer for Keenan Allen.
Sorry, Kelsey. This is about the taxes for Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Kelsey.
How much, you know what, real quick, this is the news story.
Who would you take a chance on, Nick Chubb or J.K. Dobbins?
I feel like it's J.K. Listen, I love Nick Chubb forever. But I feel like it's J.K. because he has last season. Last season was like, oh, he's still got some left in the tank. Nick Chubb, it depends on those injuries, man. And he's just got more injuries. It sucks. I love Nick Chubb, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he does well. But I feel like if you're an NFL team, the lesser risk is J.K. Dobbins.
You know what would be fun? Is if the NFL added another football team, and we had a cutoff day in March after free agency, and all the remaining available free agents got to play on the scrap team. So Aaron Rodgers not signed. Guess what? You are now the Albuquerque, New Mexico Green Chilies quarterback, Aaron. Backup, Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. They got Stephon Diggs. They got a tackle. They got a guard. That's what I want.
Honestly, Eric, that'd be the greatest thing ever. So requiring the team to be a winning team to get government funding for a stadium.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I just looked it up. So this new Cleveland Browns stadium is supposed to cost $2.4 billion.
Yeah.
And they're planning on splitting it in that the team is going to invest $1.2 billion. And the other $1.2 billion is going to come from taxpayers. Let's just real quick.
Must suck to be a Cleveland Browns fan.
I just want to check. Okay. Yeah. Jimmy is worth $8.7 billion. I just wanted to check. Okay. I just wanted to see what his net worth was. Yeah. Careful. We'll probably get copyrighted.
I turned it off.
They're probably going to that's how they're going to get the funding.
Yeah. Oop.
This looks really nice.
Brandon paying for it.
This looks very, very nice.
Do you get to fly into the stadium on a drone?
You do, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. That's right.
Nice.
All right, Suzanne. Imagine that electric bill.
Mm.
It looks super cool.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
It just, unfortunately, they just don't have the team to go along with it. But, yeah. $1.2 billion. Good God. Because the problem is, Brandon, while you're going to have, you're going to assume that maybe if the team gets good, you're going to have people visiting who are going to want to be here, and that's going to stimulate the local economy and all that great stuff. Yeah, it's you get some jobs, that's good. $1.2 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
You know what? You know what I want to
looks
see inside this stadium?
A winning
An
football game.
actual dog pound.
Could it be like a rescue where you could adopt them?
Nope. You just have to watch the dogs suffer until the Browns are good.
That sounds really sad. And
I mean, they're well taken care of, but they are in the pound, Tom.
Well, you just said suffer, so.
Well, if you're in this stadium as the home team, you're probably going to be suffering a little bit.
It's fair. That is fair. That is fair.
It's like, the Cowboys got that long glass tunnel where everybody can watch the players come in. Same thing, but instead of people watching in there, it's just sad dogs. Sad dogs for the opposing team, because then it makes them all sad. They see and that gets in their head, and that's how the Browns get their home field advantage. You got to force the opposing players to look at a bunch of sad dogs, and nothing will break a person's heart like seeing that.
But why are they sad? You said they were well taken care of.
I'm changing how the Browns are approaching this.
So now it's just psychological warfare.
Dude, they bend their morals for a quarterback. You think they're going to bend their morals for animals?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably going to be going well. Hey, it's commitment. That's commitment.
All right. This is a good segue because yesterday...
Because you had about the Cleveland Browns and they're talking about mock drafts because we're getting to that point. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I got you there. Players that are Super Bowl jinx. Ooh.
Well, that's two, and they both played for the Patriots. Welker came over to Denver, but then he was gone before the Broncos actually won the Super Bowl. I need like 5 Super Bowl jinxed players, and then that's a pretty good idea. It's pretty solid. Stormborn.
That's actually what this whole second half of GPS is going to be about today. The P is going to stand for psychology. First of all, you knew Miyazaki, so like I feel like I'm content. I feel like that was able to pull that reference. I'm still. You should still be flying
inner
high.
Child, dude. I've been playing Bowser's Revenge or whatever the video game is with Carm every night. I'm having fun.
Carmi's very good at the sword fighting in the Wii, the Switch Sports, Wii Sports thing.
She's getting better at video games. I'm playing the Bowser one on Switch has been fun.
I crushed her in tennis though. That one I had no mercy. I was like, where I had to get used to it because I used to play on the Wii. It wasn't on the Switch, which was different. But sorry, continue. All right. So you want to this?
This is Daniel Jeremiah's new mock draft. And Daniel Jeremiah, one of the most respected in the business. He's my favorite. I like his big board. I like his mock drafts. I saw Abdul Carter mock to the Browns at 2.
He didn't. Hollow. Sorry. Stephon Diggs didn't re-sign with the Bills. He didn't.
And I tweeted the Browns taking an edge rusher after extending Myles Garrett would be the most Browns move ever. And I got so much blowback from Browns fans, I started to think I might be crazy, Tom.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I think many people believe Abdul Carter is the best prospect in this entire class.
Yes.
That's never a bad thing to have that player.
Mm-hmm.
To have that player with Myles Garrett would be luxury. It would be fun. But if you could have traded Myles Garrett, added probably 2 first-round draft picks, if not 2 first-round draft picks, at least 1 in a couple seconds, freed up a ton of money as you moved forward, taken this guy to replace Garrett and continue to build around your team, I felt like that would be a much smarter approach versus walking into 2025 with the best pass rushing duo in the league, because I don't think that's actually going to be helping you that much this season, unless you have a quarterback. And maybe they had a Russell Wilson, a Aaron Rodgers, or they draft a quarterback later. And I'm not even saying they have to take a quarterback at number 2.
Well done.
But 2 edge rushers, when you have this gaping hole at quarterback, just seems like it would be a silly thing to do.
I understand that. Yeah, I feel like also Kral, they got Mason. I think honestly, like Genty, I know is a different prospect, but there's two things here, right? So there's Tennessee, who is very interesting because they could go with Cam Ward or they can trade out of it and just hopefully get some value there. I understand what you're saying for Cleveland. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to have an insane pass rush.
No, that's a great thing.
But I do understand of, hey, if you're already in this position where the thought is you can replace Myles Garrett, you're probably not going to replace his production right away, even if Abdul, like, that's some big shoes to fill, right? If you're a dual Carter, try and be like, oh, let me put up production like Myles Garrett and have the same career. That's gonna be difficult. But yeah, I think it's just Cleveland is, you look at the offensive side, and because I just checked there. So they have pick 2, they have pick 33, and then they got 2 in round 3. So 67 and 94.
First thing I would do is if they're not going to take a quarterback, they trade. They trade back to a team that's going to. Maybe that's just one spot with the Giants. You say, we're going to take Shedeur Sanders. If you want this spot, we'll give it to you. Also, Shedeur Sanders, better than Kenny Pickett. He is a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett, and he will be in the NFL.
Kick the penny down the lane.
So that would be my first thing.
That's right, BT.
All right, you don't want Shedeur. You're out of the running for Cam. Let me tell you a guy who would make more sense for Cleveland. It is Mason Graham.
You scroll for...
You got Myles Garrett on the edge, and you put in a defensive tackle like this on your line. That's where they have a bigger need on their defensive line than at edge. They still have JOK on the other side, right?
Little JOK.
Like, that would be a more impactful signing, in my opinion, because he would make Myles Garrett better. But anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I don't disagree with you. I think it's...
Now, if they take Travis Hunter there, okay, cool.
So let me just ask you this, right? I don't think that this is an outrageous statement. How competitive do you think how competitive do you think the Browns are going to be this year?
Not at all if they don't have a quarterback that if they roll into this season with the current quarterbacks on their roster, I don't think they're going to be very competitive.
Okay.
I think they might be they could win 6 games.
Okay.
And they could F themselves out of, needing to do what they really need to do and draft that quarterback next year.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like Abdul Carter makes sense if you are looking past this season, right? Because if you're going, hey, we're not going to go try to get a quarterback this year. We're going to, we're just going to rock with kind of what we have. Maybe we take a swing on somebody in day 2 or, day 3. But then I can understand it a little bit more if your goal is I'm going to go get a quarterback next year. Because then you're trying to rebuild, right? And trying to restock that team. And having 2 really good pass rushers is never a bad thing. And for Abdul Carter to learn behind Myles Garrett, I don't think these are bad things. But I think it's also, and that's for a question for Browns fans too, just how competitive do you think you're going to be this year, even if you go get Sanders, right? How good do you think you're going to, and if Sanders is an average quarterback for a rookie? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it just, to me, Abdul doesn't make sense based on what they did with Myles Garrett. But yeah, they would have 2 great edge rushers. And I feel like this is a silly move because I watched the Broncos draft Bradley Chubb while we still had Von Miller on the roster and not draft Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Rosen. Obviously, hindsight makes that decision a lot easier. And I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. But we're like, oh, God, now we got the best edge rusher in this draft. Bradley Chubb considered number 1 at that position. Fell to the Broncos at 5 or wherever they were sitting. Didn't work out. Didn't work out because we didn't have a quarterback.
I feel like
there's no guaranteeing they're going to be in a position to draft a quarterback next year.
Oh yeah, we talked about that weeks ago. Yeah, they spoke. I disagree with this completely. This is a Mark Murphy thing. I disagree with it completely. I mean, again, just get good. Just get good. Every team can do it if you want to. Just get good and stop the tush push. Yeah,
Dude, the Panthers getting Mason Graham would be a huge get for Carolina.
stop the play. Yeah,
They got Will Campbell going all the way down to the Bears now.
Yeah, I would not like that.
Is that just because of his short arms? Is he falling because of his short arms? He was the number one tackle like a couple weeks ago.
That would be pretty damn good for Chicago.
Matthew Golden.
Ooh. I mean, Cowboys do need a receiver. They do.
Yeah. That'd be. He stays in Texas. Who
do they got for the Green Bay Packers?
Ooh, Tyler Warren going to Indy.
Appreciate it, GFed. Like the profile picture too. Scary. All right, they have inside offensive line. Okay. Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati needs to
Mike Green.
It's defense. It has to be defense. And you got to pray that Mims takes that step too, like on the offensive line. So
I like this. I like Omari and Hampton going to the Broncos.
All right, so you'd be okay going running back 20?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, God, yeah, Tom.
All right.
Yeah. Dude, if they take 2 running backs in this draft, I'll be fine.
That's fair.
Our running game needs to be so much better. And it's starting to feel like the problem is the backs.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. They got Jackson Dart going to old Pittsburgh here.
I feel like that is starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Broncos fans really want this guy too. How do you say that first name? Tatoria? Tatoria. Somebody tell me how I say it.
I got you.
Tatria.
It is. Hold on. Now, where is it? How do you pronounce McMillan? Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, McMillan. I got that part.
That's what I want.
Tetaroa. This is
GPS.
Thank you, Joseph. This is how you got to spell it for me. Tetoroa.
Yeah, Tetaroa. There we go.
Fuck yeah. Got it.
Forepaws, I did not see that offhand, but I'll always disagree. Yeah, I know this. I know that this gets pushed back every year, and this happens like what happened, of course, this past season with the Vikings and the Lions. But no, like I think you have to make win your division. Like that's always like the number one thing. Win your division. You get a home game. I think there needs to still be an emphasis on division, not only rivals but record, because I think that's what makes division rivalries fun too. Like, even though the game was disappointing, like the Vikings and Lions Sunday night, like that made it significantly more fun. So, yeah, I think you just can you do that, Perna? Can you stream Mario Odyssey and showcase your triple jump with Cappy Bounce while also capturing the human character in New Donk City?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Hey, they have us going to CB here. CB. Okay. I like that. Steelers fans, I do want to ask you how you feel about that. If you go get Jackson Dart, I feel like the answer would be you don't mind as long as you don't get Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Dart.
Yeah, there's a big drop off between Sanders and Ward, and then the rest of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Dart or Quinn Ewers. Really, is what you're looking at for that third quarterback taken.
Yeah,
and Dart's been rising since not playing football. So I don't know.
I feel like Dart is. I don't know, man. Again,
this would be a big get for Minnesota.
Aaron Rodgers is good, but
yeah, this would be huge.
Yeah, sure up that secondary.
Do you put him in that Flores defense?
Sure, vacant. Yeah.
Trey Amos.
I don't know if going to get oh my God. Like, I don't know, Cleveland. It just sucks. Like, the whole situation sucks because your ownership and front office has buried you deep down into the ground, in the dirt, They've pushed all the dirt on top of the coffin. And so now you're in a situation where, yeah, you could go get a QB. You're still paying a cajillion dollars to QBs. I don't know, man. Like it's a tough situation. Like if I'm Cleveland, I'm trying to get as much capital as possible because, man, you just need to rebuild that team.
Yeah.
It's ripping Band-Aids off and just going, yep, these next couple seasons are going to suck. Hopefully we hit on the draft and then that's it. You know? So no way they're getting Journey to perform at the pre-draft party for season ticket holders to not take a QB. Look, guys, it's fine. Don't stop believing. We're going to be okay. Yeah. Yeah. I feel so bad for Browns fans. Like that is just ultimately they have gotten so screwed out of this. So I think I do agree with that. I think the Falcons should take another quarterback. Why not? Why not? You should. Yeah, Houston offensive line, wide receiver. That's what they're going to be double dipping. So no, I don't want to eliminate that. Again, that's a Mark Murphy thing. I don't think it's going to get banned. Again, we talked about this weeks ago, but I just disagree. Love Mark Murphy, but yeah, no, I disagree. And I don't know if Ed Policy is going to have that same kind of attitude because Mark Murphy's retiring in July. So yeah, you can stop it. It's just the Eagles are really good at running it. So get good. I'm of that from good. I'm at that from software mentality. Just get good. That's right, Robert. That's right.
I'm happy to pay for a stadium. But your team's got to be good.
Yeah, just
I more willingly give my money to taxes for a football stadium than a goddamn school. Let's get our priorities straight here. You know what football brings me? Entertainment.
It's true.
I give a shit about the kids in school right now? No. Nope.
Isn't Carmi going to be going into school? You know?
Yep. I can't watch her at school for 3 hours. Have the time of my life.
Yeah, no, not fair.
Nope.
So Brandon Perna wants to fund taxpayer money using
all taxes should go to the NFL, is what I'm saying.
Got it.
And then the NFL can decide how the taxes are divvied. And if your state doesn't have a professional football team, you don't get any tax money.
Oh.
Sorry, Idaho, get a real football team.
So do you get taxed then?
Oh yeah, you still pay. You just don't get anything.
Got it.
Because you're not good enough to have a team.
There you go, the clubs.
You're not interesting enough. You don't have a big enough population.
I want a North Dakota, South Dakota team.
Oh, the Dakotas.
I do.
Yeah, and their mascot could just be a picture of Dakota Fanning. The Dakotas. Boom.
Or it's the Dakota Bowl, right? And whoever wins, Dakota Fanning is a fan for them for the next season.
Oh, I like it.
Right?
Like it.
That's what I'm saying. It should be Trey Lance, Nigel. Yeah, I don't know who the hell, because they got rid of Cooper Rush. So, but the Vikings also need a backup too. They need to go get some backup QBs. I don't know who they have.
Dude, the Cowboys are going to draft Matthew Golden, and then they're going to draft also Quinn Ewers. They're just going right to Texas. Boom, boom.
Is Will Grier still there? Hold on.
Old Willie Grier, huh?
Is Will Grier still there? Hey, Will Grier is still there. Will Grier. There you go. I forgot he's still on the team. I think so. It's, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you just draft every single quarterback and go, one of them's got to work.
Yeah.
One of them's got to be good. Right?
Take a quarterback.
Why not?
Take a quarterback, Cleveland.
Hey, Ricky. Happy freaking fracking birthday. Hope you have an excellent day. Hey, it's Glenn Close's birthday, too. Oh, and AJ Lee. And Andy Reid. Oh, okay.
Bruce Willis, Kershaw, Close, Theo Vaughn. Wow.
Well, Ricky.
I wish all of them a happy birthday except for Andy Reid. Time to retire, old man.
I'm not a Browns fan. I can assure you no one has a lot of faith in the org. It's just like the Bills building a new stadium and like the disaster that's going to be for a hot minute with parking, because before you demolish the new stadium, it's going to be tough to get in. I feel like the team's good, right? So you can kind of go, okay, Chicago, we'll see what happens. We'll see what this season looks like, but there's optimism. I feel like this has to be the worst time to build a new stadium for if you're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because optimism is in the toilet. It is. It's no longer there. Hey, arena football. Rockin'. Let's go.
Bam.
Perna. All right, so we are not here on Friday because
Right.
Perna's going on vacation. He's going into the mountains. So we won't have there. We'll be back on Monday, but then we're going to be off for like 2.5 weeks because I'm going on vacation then. So, Aaron, if you could make a decision before then, that would be great. Packers, Jair Alexander, that'd be great. If not, then I'm just going to cry. So, what you got coming out, buddy?
If I can get it edited, we've got a video about ranking the college quarterbacks.
Okay.
Little info on all the college QBs, ranked them out.
Yeah.
I just got to edit it now. Johnny's working on a Shedeur Sanders episode that'll be up probably Saturday.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because like I gotta do every fans for free agency and I gotta do scripted. I'm like just trying. I don't think I'm gonna wait on Aaron Rodgers anymore. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer on Hendrickson, but every fan's probably gonna come out this week. Yeah, and I'm just prepping for next week. So, and the week after. Oh, by the way, real quick before we leave. So yesterday, Jess, I think, posted on her story. It was like that. It looked like a little Polaroid of you, Carmi, and Jess. And
yeah.
And I showed Maya, and we both agree with he pulls off the mustache. Pulls off the mustache. It's looking good. It's looking good. That's true, real Chase. That's true. But folks, we won't see you on Friday. We'll see you on Monday for another episode of JPS. Dan, I'm probably gonna do members Q&A either tomorrow or it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. So likely not this evening. So, but of course I'll keep you posted. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is JPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destiny. Sean.